This is MikeBot. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing on my second AMS unit for the Bambu X1C, as well as the AMS hub and a few spare parts. Once I am done this unboxing, there will be a video on setting up the second AMS unit onto my current X1C with the AMS on it. So I'm going to start by doing the smaller items this time. So I'm going to go ahead and begin with this one. So there are two other videos on spare parts and accessories, and this will be kind of part 3 and final part on must-have accessories. So as mentioned in my other videos, the glue stick. They are expensive, but they work with the bamboo plates that you purchase from Bambu, so they're good to have on hand. This is my third stick, I believe, or fourth. So the reason I have so many is because it takes like 2 weeks to 3 weeks to get my stuff in when I order them, so I like to have the spares. Once I run down to one, then I'll place another order for another, or hopefully by then I will have another type of glue stick that I can recommend. Next, the extra long bamboo 6-pin for the AMS hub. So I do need a really long cable for my AMS unit because the way I'm going to be stacking them, I do need length. I think the hub comes with some, but I'm not sure, so I got this just in case. And plus, if I get a third or fourth AMS unit, this is going to be needed one way or another, so it's not a waste. For those of you that sell your prints, these are really nice little bags to hold on to. So when you sell your print, you place your printed item in these bags, so don't throw them out. Looks nice for the customer. So next, I've mentioned this so many times, the scraper. I'm actually printing another scraper right now on my Bambu X1C. Once that finishes, I will be installing the second AMS unit. Have these on hand, they're good, or buy something off Amazon. I'm sure there are tons of options. I just like these because they're convenient and they fit in the scraper that I've printed. Next, I have purchased another combo plate. I have a lot of plates to choose from now. I'm probably set for the next 2 years, if not more. So this one here is the cool plate high temperature combo. I really like the cool plates. My first cool plate that came with the printers, just about at the end of its life. So I'm gonna place a new sticker on it. I will be making a video on how to remove this sticker and add a new one on. There is a print that comes default on the Bambu to print the adapter that helps you stick these on. I'm just gonna try to get this back into focus here. There we go. So there's the cool plate, and then they ship you separately the stickers on the side. They use a lot of packaging, it's almost a waste. So here's another sticker. This comes with the combo. This one is the high temperature plate sticker. So the combo, I believe, comes with one sticker for the cool plate, one sticker that's high temperature, and then the cool plate itself. Oh, I guess they sent me the wrong thing. They sent me 2 high temperature plate stickers. Well, doesn't matter. The nice thing about the cool plate is that it's double-sided, so the high temperature sticker will go on here. Or you can stick it on either side, actually. I don't think it makes a difference. So the plate is nice because it's double-sided for dual purpose. So there's the spare stickers. Now I'll just put everything aside and begin this fun part, the AMS hub. This one is the one I'm most excited about, actually. All right. So the AMS hub is a must. You have no choice, it's a must for your AMS units when you have more than one. The purpose of it is basically to split everything up. So obviously one AMS unit, another AMS unit, then 3 and 4 if I ever get them. And this is where the cables go in. In the video, I'm gonna do basically show you guys how to install this and remove the old one. Oh, all right, hopefully I didn't break the AMS thing. The spring just came undone. Be careful, don't drop it like I just did. And those are the screws it comes with. Oh, okay, it does come with the cables. So for 60 some bucks, you get the cables with it, which is nice. So you got 2 short ones, 3 short ones. I think they're all 6-pin, 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 6-pin. Yeah, they're all 6-pin cables, and you get some more tubing. I did purchase tubing already. I have lots of extra tubing, but you get more with the AMS hub. All right, and last is the AMS unit, the second AMS unit. So it does have a little sticker on the side that says this is glass. Hopefully the shipping company respected that. Like everything Bambu, it's nicely packaged. So it comes with a little accessory box. So it comes with a spare buffer. Fairly certain I don't need this. My Bambu already came with a filament buffer, and I have the AMS hub. So I got a couple really short cables. Oh, cool. They gave me some filament cutters. So now I have probably good for the next 3 years now. The screws. And inside the box, I got some more PTFE tubing with the PTFE connector. The AMS hub is freaking expensive. I think they're like 450 bucks Canadian plus taxes and shipping. I was told by someone to keep your Bambu boxes. Apparently there's an issue. Bambu insists you ship back in the boxes or they don't take them back. All right, so here's the AMS hub. Just gotta remove all the little connectors off it. Oh wow. It came with 4 reusable spools. That's a nice little bonus. I don't need to purchase these anymore. I've been buying these and printing them left, right, and center. That is nice and unexpected. All right, so basically, each one is for a specific use. This is the high temperature spool, and the rest of them are just your generic regular spools. They all have different designs on them. I don't know why, but basically if you're going to be drying your filament on the Bambu, this is the one you want to be using. So this one here, definitely PLA. The rest of those probably metallic, glitter, I don't know. You can probably use all the same PLA for them all if you really want to, but save this one for your high temperature stuff. So now that I have all these reusable spools, I might actually use a spool winder to undo all my other spools I have and feed them into here. So this one here. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm gonna try to take one of the Bambu reusable spools and wind some filament into it. I found a spool that's doesn't really have much left in it, just in case it messes up. So here we go. So you want to make sure the end of this is clean cut. Take it into find your Bambu spool here, and then you want to look for the hole to feed this into, and that's basically where it's going to catch. You want to then take your printed spool winder, put it in here, find a drill that you have laying around, put it in the hole like so, and then it should kind of look something like that. Take your old spool or filament, whatever, start winding it in here. So I'm just gonna do this part off camera really quick. Just take a piece of tape basically and tape the filament onto the end of the spool. Sometimes they might have a little hole for the spool. They might have a little hole sometimes for the filament, but I don't see one in this specific spool. Take your time the first time around and make sure it's really tight on here. So I'm just gonna disconnect my microphone for this next part, and you'll probably just see this in fast motion. And just like that, I've transferred the filament from one spool to another. Now mind you, this is a terrible job, and I purposely used a small amount of filament just for the purpose of this video. So when you are doing this, you want to make sure you keep tight tension throughout the entire process, and you don't want it to look like this. You want it to look clean. Again, practice makes perfect. Make sure you keep tight tension when you're doing this. It's better to do it with 2 people or a proper setup, not in your basement on top of a storage bin. All right, so that's the unboxing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bring everything down to my craft room, and I'm gonna begin the installation process. I might also include a bonus video at the end of this, showing you how to re-spool your filament from like an eSun, Overture, Duramic, or Everyone brand to this thing. Okay, so I have placed the AMS down into my 3D printing room area. I've turned off my printer through the power here. I've unplugged it and basically turned it around, took the shock feed off, and it's ready for the second AMS unit install. So I'm going to begin by taking off my vent that I printed here. I can post a link on this if anyone's interested. Basically, you put 4 magnets on and stick it here, and then it helps you connect the pipe out from the back of the printer. So first things first, we need to unplug the current AMS from the printer, remove this, install the AMS hub, and then wire everything up. Alright, so start by making sure your filament is retracted and there's no filament in any of the tubes. Once you have done that, shut off the printer, unplug it, and then proceed. You start by pinching the blue and the black on the PTFE connector, and you pull out. And just like that, the PTFE tube is disconnected from the top. Next, we're going to remove the AMS hub, which means also removing the tubing from the back and the plugs. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this, and then we'll do the next step after that. For organizational purposes, I recommend you have some sort of small bucket or something for the screws when you're done with them, or if you're like me, just have a little magnet thing that you strap onto your wrist, and then you can put the screws on there. All right, now with the PTFE tubing connector unscrewed, you can basically pinch the spring here to get this tube out, and pinch the little black notch there to get the other end out, and then use the clip here to undo the AMS cable portion, as well as the portion that goes into the bamboo. So what I'm going to do, since I do have all the spare parts, I'm not going to disconnect this end because I already have the spare PTFE connector and this tube, but you definitely need to disconnect this part from the AMS unit going into the little hub here. So now we are basically ready for the installation of the AMS multi-hub. So grab your multi-hub and begin by screwing it in the back, or you can connect your cables first and proceed from there. Either way works. So this is the point where you can kind of plan out how you're going to do this. So essentially, you want to plan this in a way that it's organized. So I might have to remove the PTFE tubing that came in this AMS and use a longer one, because I'm not going to be stacking my 2 AMSs on top. They're going to be side by side. You can see they give you a very, very long PTFE tube here to play around with. So make sure you have a PTFE tube cutter. If you don't use the razor blade that came with it, you need to make sure the cut is very, very clean, or you're going to run into issues. So I have my new PTFE tube and my new PTFE connector. So I'm going to go ahead and connect them from the printer into the AMS hub. So the device that was here before is called a buffer, and I'm just going to reuse the same 4-pin cable I was using before. We are connected from the printer into the AMS hub. Next, I need to cut to length the PTFE tubing that I want to go to my AMSs, which means I will have to either use a PTFE connector or cut this tube, remove this tube and cut the other one to shape. Since I have a PTFE connector, I think I'll just use that. That way I don't have to go inside the AMS and tinker with it. This is why I say it's good to have spare parts on hand. So I just went into the top slot here, and that's one AMS unit down. I used the PTFE connector. You can do this, you don't have to. I have the spare parts on hand, so why not, rather than cut the other one into two different lengths. That way I'll have more spare of the extra long PTFE tubing to go. And I still have 3 more of these connectors laying around, so it's good to have spare parts. Watch my part 1 and part 2 video of must-have accessories. Purchase an extra long version of this, which is great because I am going to need it for this setup that I'm working on. So here's the extra long 6-pin cable I got. There, and all the stuff in the back of the printer is done. Now I'm just going to turn it around, figure out how long I need this cable for the second AMS, then I boot it up and do a firmware upgrade, and off to the races. So the only part you didn't see, and I did off camera, was basically putting the anti-vibration feet back on the printer, putting my printed poop chute in the back, and the vent. I have a video on the anti-vibration feet if you're interested in watching the installation of those. So now, basically I need to turn this AMS unit to its final resting spot. I still need to connect the uplink cable to the second AMS and the PTFE tube to the second AMS. So again, I'm going to grab my extra long 6-pin connector cable to connect one AMS to the other. Everyone's setup is going to be different, so if your setup isn't like this, then don't use the extra long cables, obviously. Now again, I'm going to be lazy and take a shortcut. I'm just going to connect the PTFE tube connector rather than going into the AMS and removing the current cable that's in there. I'm going to use my filament cutter. I've measured off about the right distance to where I need it to be. Very handy to have one of those. Alright, now I'm going to power on my Bambu, and while it's powering on, I'm going to go ahead and install 4 filaments into the second AMS unit. You can already see the second AMS unit blinking away. So as you can see, it's asking me to do a firmware update on the second AMS unit, so I'm going to go ahead and hit yes while I pick out my filaments that are going to go into the second unit. So I've gone ahead and picked my colors. They're just roughly placed. Now I'm going to go into the settings, and I'm going to slowly program each of the filaments into the second AMS unit. So each one is a unique filament. I don't think any of them are actually the Bambu brand, so I'm going to have to set it with the settings. Actually, the first one is a Bambu PLA Classic Beige. So the second one I know is a green. I'm going to go into the settings, the filament, select its color, manufacturer's generic, and it's a PLA. So now for my third one, I'm going to go ahead and tell it that it's white, generic, PLA. Confirm. And then last, I'm going to go ahead and tell it that it is actually a generic PLA, and it's red. Confirm. So in my first AMS unit, I'm going to get rid of that white one because it's almost done, and the first 7 color print I'm going to do does require quite a bit of white. And that one I don't even think matches the color of the other white that I have in. So in that first AMS unit, I'm going to give it a completely random brown color by eSun. Alright, and just like that, I now have 8 colors for my Bambu X1C. So I've installed the second AMS unit, interconnected it into the first AMS unit, which goes into the printer. I've done the firmware update, and I've applied all my colors. It's beautiful. So that's it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching today. MikeBot out.